Some questions are just so big, so fundamental to who we are, that we've spent centuries trying to answer them. We've used novels, philosophy, and now, in a really fascinating twist, we're using artificial intelligence to understand the conflicts raging inside of us. So let's just dive right into this incredible intersection of ancient storytelling and brand new technology.
This is the very beginning of a celebrated Bengali novel called Chakra by Shirshendu Mukhopadhyay. And it's so much more than just a pretty sentence. It's a powerful metaphor. See, we're not just talking about some literal snake in the dirt. This snake, it represents something ancient and patient and hungry that's waiting inside every single one of us.
That snake, that is our primal instinct. It's that raw, biological drive that's always there, just simmering below the surface of our civilized minds. And the novel uses this incredible image to kick off a human story, one that perfectly shows this lifelong struggle between our animal nature and our thinking, conscious selves.
Now, what's really fascinating is how this story gets going. At the center of it all is this young, brilliant boy who, in one single moment, acts on that primal drive. It wasn't a calculated decision, right? It was this overwhelming force of nature that he just didn't have the maturity to control yet, and it leads to this tragic mistake that will completely change the course of his life.
But society, as we know, doesn't really care about the nuances of biology. So what happens? He gets labeled, he gets cast out. And this just perfectly illustrates that core conflict. His biological reality slams right into our social rules. He's forced out of his home, now carrying the weight of an action that wasn't born from evil, but from an instinct as old as life itself. So it all boils down to this dilemma you see right here. On one side, you've got Sahaj Prakriti, instinct, that raw, unconscious force. And on the other, Bibek, our consciousness. That's the aware, reasoning part of our mind that lets us step back, reflect, and choose. Honestly, the entire human drama is basically the battle between these two.
Okay, but how do you make sense of a life that's been shaped by a conflict like that? How does that young boy, who's now a man, find any meaning after being defined by his absolute lowest moment? Well, to figure that out, we can shift gears from literature and look through the lens of philosophy.
And we can do that by using existentialism. Basically, it's this idea that says we aren't defined by some pre-written essence or by one single thing we did. No, instead, our existence, our life, our choices, our whole journey, that comes first. We are completely free and totally responsible for creating our own meaning out of all the chaos. And here's where it all clicks and connects right back to that boy. See, society tried to give him an essence. They slapped a label on him based on one mistake, on the action of that primal snake inside him. But existentialism says, no way. He has the freedom to exist beyond that label. His entire life becomes a conscious choice to forge his own meaning, proving that his consciousness, his bivek, can ultimately define him way more than his instinct ever could. All right, now this is where things take a really sharp modern turn. For centuries, we've used stories and philosophy to have this conversation. But what happens when a new voice enters the dialogue? A non-human one? How does artificial intelligence even begin to engage with these age-old questions about who we are? So, how does an AI even start to understand a novel like Chakra? Well, it doesn't feel the story, not at all. Instead, like you see here, it just processes it as data. First, using natural language processing, it chews through millions, even billions of words. Then, machine learning algorithms spot all the patterns, an author's style, recurring themes, how characters develop, and from all that analysis, it can generate brand new text that mimics what it's learned.
And the potential uses here are just staggering. I mean, we're not just talking about having an AI write a story from scratch. It can be a creative partner for a writer who's stuck, a super powerful tool for translating literature, or even like a digital archaeologist helping us piece together damaged ancient manuscripts. The possibilities are just blowing up.
This all leads to a really profound idea. The way we interact with this technology is becoming more than just giving it commands and getting results. It's actually evolving into a new kind of conversation, a new way for us to hold up a mirror to our own minds and explore our own consciousness. The source material for this explainer has a great name for it: a digital Platonic dialogue. Think about it for a second. Just like Socrates questioned his students to help them discover truth, we're now questioning these huge AI models. And in the process of figuring out our questions and analyzing their answers, we're not just learning about the AI, we're learning a ton about ourselves.
But, and this is a big but, we have to be crystal clear about the difference here. This table lays it out perfectly. Human creativity, it comes from lived experience, from emotions, from consciousness. Its greatest strength is its emotional depth, its originality. AI creativity, that comes from data and algorithms. Its strength is unbelievable speed and the ability to imitate any style you throw at it. But its limitation is absolutely crucial. It has zero true understanding. It mimics, but it doesn't originate.
So, where does all this leave us? Well, we're standing at the beginning of a whole new chapter in the human story. This technology isn't just a fancy new tool. It's a philosophical catalyst. It's forcing us to ask brand new questions about creativity, consciousness, and what it even means to be human in the first place. And these questions are not easy. I mean, what even is creativity if there's no conscious mind behind it? If an AI writes a prize-winning novel, who gets the credit? Who owns it? And is this new thing a partner in our creative journey? Or is it something else entirely? These are the conversations we are all just starting to have right now.
Really, this all boils down to one final huge question. Are we just using a very, very sophisticated hammer? Or is this technology becoming so woven into how we think, how we create, and how we communicate that the line between our own minds and our machines is actually starting to blur?
And yet, maybe the medium we use doesn't matter as much as the mission itself. Whether it's a metaphorical snake in a Bengali novel, the dialogues of Plato, or the algorithms of an AI, the goal has always been the same: to take the chaos of our instincts and our existence and try to arrange it into well-ordered thoughts. Because, as this final quote suggests, it's that clarity, that understanding that ultimately brings us joy, health, and a life of meaning.